United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Ms. Salcho? Mr. Lindemann? Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Here.
Mr. Bering?
Here. Item D, approval of minutes. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of April the 5th, 2022.
So moved.
By Dr. Gomez.
No, Mario and
I'm
I
sorry.
second.
Will you second that, Dr. Gomez? Any discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bering?
Yes. Item E, summary of current events. Ms. Samaniego.
Good evening, Mr. President, board members, staff, and community. We have, we're in the last stretch of the school year. We are in our last month of school, and so obviously lots of activities and ceremonies and end of the year testing. Lots of our schools feel like they've just been testing and testing and testing, but our state testing is over. They completed all of their testing last Friday. So we hope to see some good results, and if not, then we know that there's some areas that we'll have to work on. We had the Diamond Scholar celebration last night for both the elementary, middle school, and then the high school level, and it was well attended. So parents were very appreciative that the ceremonies were in person again. So we recognized the students, and our AZ Merit Award proficient students will be recognized at the school level by their principals. They will receive a medal and certificate, I believe, and so that's separate. Junior National Honor Society for the middle schools took place within the last 2 weeks, and so RBMS and Huber Middle School also inducted some new members in 7th and 8th grade, and Huber inducted 2 new students in 6th grade. I do have an announcement, and Grand Canyon University, I'm part of a superintendent's network group. I joined my first year as superintendent, so we're partnering with GCU, and GCU is honoring for this school year, a principal of the month. And they promote it on their website, they advertise it, so anybody can nominate a school principal. And so they wanted Jennifer, who is one of the individuals who's responsible for organizing and kind of recognizing the principals, wanted to be here, but unfortunately she couldn't. So we have a Douglas Unified School principal that was nominated for the month of March, but they couldn't be here in March, so she says, Anna, I can't be there, just recognize them at your next board meeting. And so I don't know who nominated this principal, but I'm assuming it was a staff member at her school. And so we have Ms. Corey Moen, who was nominated for March GCU Principal of the Month, and we have a little token for you.
She gets the whole basket?
Yeah, it's a whole picnic basket. I won't say what's inside. It's a little blanket, but it says Grand Canyon University K-12 Educational Development Principal of the Month and that was for month of March, Karina Moen. In recognition of your dedication, passion, and hard work, signed by Dr. Jennifer Johnson, Assistant Vice President, and the Senior Vice President, Dr. Ashby. And so it's a little picnic basket, so congratulations.
Were you nominated or successful?
Nominated by probably a staff member at
So
our school.
the recognition is for being nominated.
Yes,
Well, congratulations.
and being selected as the principal for the month of
Oh, you were
March.
selected?
Yes,
All right,
yes,
great.
uh-huh.
That's wonderful.
So congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yes.
And let me see, what else? We also have, I'm glad Camila was able to join us. We want to recognize her as our ex-officio member, and this is her last meeting. Even though you haven't been here at every meeting, but it is tradition that we award you with a bulldog, DUSD bulldog, and it says DHS ex-officio member let me see, let me put on my glasses first. Student, ex officio student member for 21-22. And so, here you go, Camila. And this Thursday, Governing Board, we do have our Employee of the Year Staff Recognition celebration that's going to be taking place at the Douglas Visitor Center starting at 6 p.m. And every school has nominated a Teacher of the Year and a Support Staff Member of the Year. We have departments also nominated a Staff Member of the Year. And we will be having that celebration, which you were all invited to, and that will take place on Thursday. And that is all I have.
Okay, then, under the subsection there, you have HOSA.
Yes.
Ms. Alonso is going to make a presentation.
Yes.
Is she here?
Yes, they are.
And before she starts, I do want to add that it is Teacher Appreciation Week. So all of our administrators are celebrating their teachers and all of their staff. So we want to thank on behalf of the board and DUSD administration to all of our educators and all of our staff who are in this business of educating kids.
Wow.
The other thing that going to be recognized.
Martha, you're on.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Ms. Samaniego, members of the public. We thought it was at 5:30, so we're here. I told him to be here at 5. Just, yeah. Okay, so
You're doing well.
we are presenting HOSA, and we have the national students, or the students that qualify to go to nationals. And because SkillsUSA kind of happened a little bit later, Ms. Barayardos did ask if we could share the spotlight, and I said yes. She and I work together a lot, and we motivate each other, so it was only fitting that we would come and present our students together. So from HOSA, we have 4 advisors. Mr. Nelson, Ms. Rosario, and Ms. Seville, and myself are the 4 advisors. We have split our students into 2 chapters, really, and so Ms. Rosario and I work together, and Ms. Seville and Mr. Nelson work together. So Ms. Rosario and I have principles of biomedical, the nursing students, psychology, and, well, behavioral health and psychology. And then Mr. Nelson and Ms. Seville have anatomy and physiology, medical innovations, biomedical innovations, and sports medicine. And so we've been able to split the programs kind of based on how many students are in each program to make basically two major groups. So this year, we took about 70 students to state. In order to qualify to state, they have to take online testing or compete at a regional event, and they have to place in the top 5 at regions or be selected through online testing. And there's really no pass or fail in online testing. They take the top 20, top 30, depending on the event. And so there's no real margin for us to tell you what they got, but they were able to qualify. So at state, we had 70 students. We qualified. We had 46 students placed in the top 5 in the state of Arizona, and we had a total of 29 students that qualified to go to nationals. We are taking 25 students to nationals, as one of the teams won't be going. And so I'm going to have a representative from each of the events that are competing at nationals come up and tell you who they are, and then a little bit about their competition. So I'm going to start with individuals. Nicole, I saw you first.
Good evening. My name is Nicole Preciado. I am president of Ms. Alonso's chapter. I competed in clinical nursing, which consists of consists of knowing the procedures of doing wound irrigations, inserting medication via IV, doing post-mortem care, and doing post-op exercises. I was able to place second in my competition. And yes, thank you.
Mr. President,
Yeah, Dr. Gomez.
you know, I'm really getting old, and I'm glad you're not wearing a mask, but when they talk, could we have them?
Sure, yeah, if they feel
Remove the mask?
comfortable, take it
Okay.
off, yeah.
So, hello, my name is Jasmine Stein. I am doing healthcare photography. I placed third on my on one I competed with. I needed to take 3 pictures of a medical career and explain what it was based on. And it was a really nice competing, and I'm going to nationals. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sofia Michelle. I'm currently a senior, and this is my second year competing with my team members, Paulina Lugo, Paola Lugo, and Cristina Loya, in creative problem solving. We placed first at state, and creative problem solving teaches you how to work as a group collaboratively to come up with a solution very fast. They give you a prompt. It could be like a social issue or like a health issue. You have 30 minutes to come up with a plan and then 8 minutes to present it to your judges. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Camila Barrios, and I'm part of the public service announcement team. I competed alongside Andres, Alitzel, Darisa, and Silene. Together, we had to brainstorm and create a 30-second video broadcasting why we think you should donate bone marrow and how you could potentially save someone's life. So we did create that 30-second video, and then we presented it at state, and we offered an explanation, and we were awarded first place. And now we're very excited to go to nationals.
Good evening. My name is Tiffany Barriarlos. I am the president of the Parliamentary Procedure Team. And what ParliPro is we run mock meetings using Robert's Rules of Order, and we're judged by it. And we play second at state. So, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ivana Miranda, and along my teammates, Corazon and Alexa, we did a presentation about public health, and we were able to place third, and we were very excited to go to nationals.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Hernandez. I did an individual team. I did job seeking skills, so it was basically an interview in a position in the healthcare field that we're interested in. Mine was certified nursing assistant, and I was judged by 3 judges, and they were basically my interviewers, and it basically tested my interviewing skills as well as my communication skills, so I'm very excited. I placed third, and I'm going to nationals.
Good evening. My name is Salia Hernandez, and I was selected as this year's historian reporter for Arizona. Basically, I had to make an application. Then after I got chosen, I had to go get an interview, and then I got slated, so I had to make an introduction video and give a speech, and then I got elected.
Okay, so that is a little bit of all of our students. Like I said, we have 25 students that are going. 24 of those students are competing in events, and Aaliyah, of course, was selected as a state officer, so she is traveling with Arizona State, but we get to take her with us as well. And so we're very, very proud of our students. They worked really hard to be where they're at. This year we had 45 students that got bronze member, and Ms. Brianna Elias that got silver member. To get an award as a member, you have to complete 10 different assignments, and then for silver, it's about 25 different assignments that they have to complete, including volunteer hours, and then I submit a list of those students. The officer team worked really hard, and we have earned gold chapter, which is for both Ms. Rosario and my chapters. So that was 2 Douglas chapters, and there's only 5 in the state that got gold chapter this year, and we try to get that every single year. So we kept working even last year during the pandemic. We didn't get get gold because a lot of in-person activities have to happen to get gold, so we only got bronze, which was the online version of what we could do. But every year our chapter's officers work really diligently. Sofia Michelle didn't say, but she's our official Douglas High School HOSA president. Camila's our vice president. Brianna is our secretary, and Nicole is our treasurer from our executive board, and all of them will be going to nationals with us this summer. So we're very proud, and we just wanted you to listen or hear what they had to say. We do have our award session tomorrow, and so we have invitations for you guys. So tomorrow night we're inviting the parents and all of our community members to join us in celebrating our students and recognizing them for all their hard work.
Congratulations, students. We're very proud. I know competing and public speaking and going up against other students in Arizona just tells you that you are very capable, just like any other child in any other high school, and have great potential. And when you go to nationals, if you haven't had the opportunity, that is an experience in itself, to travel, to compete with top students across the nation. So take advantage of every opportunity, and we're thankful for our CTE programs and our funding that allows for all of this to happen, in our governing board for approving your travel.
Yes. Very good. Dr. Gomez.
I just wanted to know why some were red and some were dark blue.
They're a different group.
She's next.
Yes,
That's a
yes.
different group.
Oh, different group, okay.
Thank you, Ms. Alonso.
And before you get started, Andrea, just for clarification, they the ones that got up there said that they were either their head of the crew or their team or whatever. So when they go to the national, is it like the one that talked about Robert's Rules of Order? Is that her individually, or is that a group?
So if the Parley Pro team can stand, so that's the Parley Pro team, and then can we have the Creative Problem Solving stand? They were supposed to do this, but they forgot.
Okay, so that means they all qualify.
Yep.
They all.
And then we
qualify.
have PSA team. Go ahead. And then we have a public health team. And then the other ones were individuals. So yeah, they're part of different teams. And I told them they had to have a speaker instead of having every single student come tell you how fun it was. Because that's usually what happens. They keep saying, it was fun.
Andrew, do they all participate in public speaking? Is that part of all? Is that kind of interlaced in all of the different?
The majority
activities?
of them, not necessarily all of them though. So for example, Nicole, she has these skills-based activities. So in clinical nursing, they walk in and they give them a patient sheet and they say, the physician has ordered this, and the student reads the prompt, and then they go about pretending to be the nurse. And so they will say, hi, are you Miss Smith? Check to see that they are Miss Smith. So some of it is like, I don't know, acting, we'll say. There's other students that have no talking. We do have, I think it's like 40, we have 56 events, and there's about 20 of them that are just testing. So nutrition, we have dental terminology, we have psychology, and they just take a test both times. They sit in front of a bubble sheet, and that's all they do. Well, that's not all. I mean, they study, but that's the competition. One of our teams that placed fourth, and it was by one question, is HOSA Bowl. It's basically a Jeopardy game. They hit a buzzard, and they were tied at the last minute. The buzzer actually finished, and the speaker was still reading the question. They allowed it to continue. The other team pressed the buzzard, and so it was kind of like after the fact, but since they were tied, they allowed them to answer, and they got the point, so they were officially a fourth team. So there's a little bit of everything in the 56 competitions. And Aaliyah, like I said, she's not actually competing. She's just the state officer, so she has her own kind of activities that she'll have to do at nationals.
Well, they all make a wonderful presentation, and their appearance is exceptional.
Yes.
And we're extremely proud of them.
Yes.
And we'll let you continue now, Andrea.
And I'll tell you one thing that I feel very proud of when I'm walking around Weston, La Paloma. I constantly get stopped and say, oh, you're the Douglas advisor. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, your kids are so great. We love them. They're so best. They are so nice. And this time, I did have one advisor come up to me and be like, so we know they were just being silly because they're the Douglas kids, but they were screaming and they were asked to wait and they ran away. So they came and found me. They're like, we know they're just being silly. So even when our kids are bad, they recognize us as the good kids. So they were just being silly. So we have a really good reputation at the state level.
Does the district furnish the attire? Does the district pay for all of these?
CT. So actually, we have been accumulating over the years. We're up to like 80 some jackets. But every year we buy, if there's certain sizes that pop up that we don't have. But Mr. Young has been furnishing that over the years, and so we do have a big closet. Sometimes they don't fit perfect, but we give them the jackets, the pants and the shirts, and that's the responsibility of the students. We just provide the jackets for their attire, and they do look really nice. At State, we are one of the few schools that has their entire school in uniform. It's not very common, and we're always one of the top 3 in size. We've been doing that for the last 8 years probably, that we've been one of the biggest schools. And we always get comments of how we're able to have all our kids in blues and how professional and how respectful they act.
Their appearance and presentation
Yes.
is exceptional.
Mhm.
Okay, Andrea, go ahead. Thank you very much, Martin.
Hello, everyone. Mr. President, School Board, Ms. Samaniego. I am the advisor of SkillsUSA. SkillsUSA is the biggest CTSO in the country, actually. We have 8 sections underneath us, and that is my section, which is engineering. We have automotive. We have fire science. We have drafting. We have, I have to remember everyone, media and film. We have graphic design, and I'm forgetting somebody. Infotech, law enforcement. There we go. That's all 8. Okay, so there's actually 8 sections, and I am the advisor of the chapter because our school is considered one chapter, and so that's a lot of sections that we have. We took 27 kids to nationals to state this year, and we were pleased to have 4 medalists. We also won Model of Excellence, which is a distinguished award that only 24 chapters get in the entire country. So our school is going to be going to nationals representing our chapter in personal skills for Models of Excellence. And we're super excited. And I must give a shout out to Miss Alonzo because she was the one that inspired me to want to do more with my chapter and to get gold chapter, which we got also this year. And so it's the HOSA chapter that has inspired me to want to be better. So good job, guys. So I would like to introduce the people that are going to be representing Douglas High School in Atlanta, Georgia in June. And and Mr. Cortez also is going to nationals with me, and he couldn't be here. Oh, never mind. He just showed up. So Mr. Cortez right there. So in Mr. Cortez's section, we won a gold medal and a silver medal. The gold in SkillsUSA, only the gold medals get to go to nationals. So because it's such a big organization, there's 108 contests that they have. And that was Swan Galvez. She was our gold medalist. And we also got a silver medal with Edgardo Leos. Tell them what you did.
Hi, my name is Swan Galvez. This is my first year being a member of SkillsUSA. I participate under the drafting section as president, and I'm overall parliamentarian of SkillsUSA. I competed in state this past April, and I won first place in technical drafting, and my partner won second place. And I am really excited to go to nationals this June. Thank you.
Congratulations. Our second group is Isabella Garcia and Daniel Coronado, and they'll be going representing us in robotics and automation.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Isabela Garcia, and I am the president for the engineering section and for SkillsUSA chapter. And this is my partner, Daniel Coronado. We competed at state in the section robotics and automation. We had to wire a robot arm and program a robot arm to do a task, and we got first place.
And then the two people that will be representing us in our models of excellence will be Leighton Angulo and Fernando Villosola.
I'll put this right. Hi, my name is Fernando Villosola. And
my name is Leighton Angulo.
And we will be going to nationals for Model of Excellence. Now, this wasn't really like a state competition. It was given to us for nationals. And what we will be doing over there is we will be giving a presentation about a personal skill activity that we completed back in October, which was the trunk or treat. So that's pretty much it. We're very excited to go.
I'm sure you are.
Thank you.
They're being modest. They have a lot to. They have a lot to do more than just a presentation, but they have actually activities all 4 days, and they have to also talk to the media and do an interview and have a presentation. And there's several award ceremonies. It's a really big deal, and we're really excited to represent Douglas.
You need good walking shoes, all of you.
I got a question.
Yes.
The little girl that was talking about drafting.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a drafting class?
Yes.
Who's the teacher?
Mr. Cortez.
Oh, okay, back there. Yes. Okay, all right. That's
Yeah,
great.
we also
That's
we
great.
have a lot of people don't realize that we have robotics class, which is engineering, and we also have technical drafting and architectural drafting. And
Do you play with Legos?
no, we use Vex.
You know, Legos.
We do
Legos
Vex
has
robotics.
A little motor-driven thing, you know.
Yeah, Lego Mindstorms.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do Vex robotics, and then they have the ScoreBot EDU for you, which is the one that for robotics and automation. You know, it's like a robotic arm that picks
Yeah.
things up. They have to know how to program that.
Okay.
So.
Good.
Well, congratulations to you. 5 of you that are going to be competing. So congratulations, and for representing Douglas Unified School District with very top honors.
Thank you.
Andrea,
Yes.
hold on a minute. You were, are you getting tired of going to Phoenix and winning state championships? No, you were going to send us a video, and we never got it.
You know, yeah,
I don't know
yes.
about the rest of the board, but I personally did want to see it, especially state champions. And if you could get that to Alma, and she could email it to us so we could see it. If you don't mind,
Okay.
if it's not too much trouble.
No, I could. I thought Mr. Ortega was going to do that, but I will follow up and get that to you.
Great, thanks.
Yes, but I don't get tired of winning state championships. This, by far, has been my best year professionally, so it has been very exciting.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Martha, did you have anything else?
No, but they want to go home.
Okay. I don't blame them. All right, we'll take a second for you. We're extremely proud of all of you guys, and you keep up the good work. And you know, some of these classes allow them to go, when they graduate, directly into some type of a
Field of study.
Yes,
Right.
our nursing students, our CNA students actually will graduate from Cochise College and have a certification in nursing and can start working. And actually, Nicole, Paulina, who else is in CNA? And Darisa. How many of you are actually working right now? Yeah. Well, raise it higher, they can't see you. So there was a different program this year through Haven where Mr. Peralta actually recruited students to start working early because of the shortage of health professionals. So the students have actually been working all year as health professionals. And we had Grecia Soto, and there's a couple other students that placed to go to state and not at state that are actually currently working already. Would you mind taking a picture? I know they're big, but can we get a picture?
Definitely.
Okay.
You guys can all line up.
Just let's have the boys kneel here in the front, and then the girls just stand right here. Just make a big group. You'll stand like right in front right here. I'm usually just photographer.
I guess we're going to stand up.
You guys might need a squat.
Yeah.
Forward. And by the way, both my children are in HOSA with men.
Alright, some of you girls need to come forward and push forward so they don't come forward and
And then you guys can get them back. That's Tiffany. There. Tiffany, wave your hand.
All right, ready? Say cheese. All right, I got it. Yeah, please.
All right, you guys are welcome to go home.
Thank you very much.
Are we gonna do the red ones?
Also, Mr. Breen, all the kids in SkillsUSA do have to do a presentation.
They have what?
They have to do a presentation also.
Oh, okay.
When they're at state.
Okay, great, great. Thank you very much. No, that's wonderful.
And you also
Take that
won
with you.
a silver medal in
Kind of
the
important.
demonstration. I forgot.
Let me get the color memo. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Martha.
Have
All
a
right.
good time. Think of me when you're in Atlanta.
They're going to Atlanta, we're going to Nashville.
Okay, well, they're both good places.
Okay, item F, we're on the school activity reports, and that goes to Camila Barrios.
Actually, are there governing board member report? I don't know if the governing board has anything.
Well, governing, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dr. Gomez.
Okay, this is just a question. I don't know who it belongs to, Mr. Morales or Cesar or the superintendent. I was over at Porterville this afternoon. I always kind of like to go over there and just look around. Why do they have such an ugly fence?
At Ferris Elementary?
Ferris, like around the school, or where
No,
they're working
inside.
right now?
On the inside, it looks like a temporary fencing.
Yes, there's a project going on at Ferris Elementary right now where those original wings, there's some issues with the structure and the roofs. And the school facilities board is funding that project, or where the roofs are going to be replaced and the floor is going to be repaired. And just today, another change order was approved, and that's to look at the NPR. There's some issues going on around that soil.
So it's more like safety fencing.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, because there's no students right there.
Yeah.
Those students had to be moved to the other classrooms. So those are empty right now, and the fencing is just for safety and security issues. Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's why it's ugly. It's just a temporary fence.
Mr. Ramos, do you have anything? Any report? Okay. All right, I'm sorry, go ahead, Camila.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Superintendent Samaniego, and members of the public. The activity report at DHS and DUSD schools for the month of May is as follows. We've got great news to share about our students at DHS. Douglas High School SkillsUSA organizations competed in the state championships in Phoenix, AZ this past month, and we had huge accomplishments from our students. Swan Galvez, 2023, first place in technical drafting. Edgardo Leos, 2023, second place in technical drafting. Isabela Garcia, 2022, and Moses Miramontes, 2023, first place in robotics and automation. And Leighton Angulo, 2023, second place in job skill demonstration. DHS SkillsUSA also received Gold Chapter, 1 out of 4 in the state of Arizona, and Model of Excellence, 1 out of 24 in the country. Our DHS Folklorico and Modern Dance Club performed for our elementary schools. The club embraces and appreciates individual and cultural diversity, which was demonstrated in their dance performances to the students. Alia Hernandez was elected as the state HOSA officer. DHS will be well represented at the state level in several student organizations for next school year. Douglas HOSA chapter participated in the annual HOSA State Leadership Conference. We had 70 students, of which 45 placed in the top 5, as mentioned in the presentation by Ms. Alonso. Congratulations to our DHS Teacher of the Year, Ms. Scarlett Hughes, and to our Support Staff of the Year, Ms. Christy Rios. At DHS, our HOSA ceremony will be May 4th at 5 p.m. in the James A. Brendan Auditorium. There will be a DHS band concert May 10th at 6 p.m. at the James A. Brendan Auditorium. Student Council banquet will be May 11th at 5:30 p.m. Cognia accreditation will be May 10th through 12th via Zoom. Senior Awards/Scholarship Night will be May 17th at 6 p.m. at the James A. Brendan Auditorium. Senior Athletic Awards Night is May 18th at 7 p.m. at the Armando de Lucas Stadium. Drama Club will present the Encanto musical May 20th at 5 p.m. at the James A. Brendan Auditorium. The Senior Walk will be May 23rd. Senior Fun Day will be May 24th, and the Class of 22 graduation ceremony will be May 27th at 7:30 p.m. at Armando de Lucas Stadium. Board members, we would like to cordially invite you to our commencement ceremony.
Thank you.
Wow, it's fancy.
At Rayburn Middle School, the end of the year band concert will be on May 17th at 6 p.m. at the DHS Auditorium. Cougar Cella 2022 and Color Run will be on Wednesday, May 11th. The 5th grade elementary orientation will be on May 16th. The 2021 AZM2 recognition assembly on May 17th. The senior walk on May 23rd. 8th grade celebration dance on May 24th. And the 8th grade promotion on May 25th at 10:30 a.m. At Huber, folklorico performance at the Douglas Art Gallery May 7th at 11 a.m. The 5th grade orientation at May 11th. 8th grade will visit Cochise College on May 12th. There will be a color run sponsored by PTSO May 13th at 1:30 to 3. The Semester 2 awards ceremony will be May 18th at 8:30 a.m. Spring Fling sponsored by Student Council will be May 20th from 1:10 to 3 p.m. The senior walk will be on May 23rd. The 8th grade promotion dance for 8th graders only will be on May 24th, and the 8th grade promotion will be on May 25th at 8:30 a.m. At Clausen would like to thank Freeport McMorran for their donation of trees. We would also like to thank the Cochise County community for coming out and sharing their knowledge of animals with our students. Horse and Around Rescue Ranch and Foundation, Inc., Douglas Library, Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club, Karshner Caverns Park Rangers, Coronado National Memorial, Park Rangers, and Southwest Black Ranchers. Suzanne Pineda will be representing DUSD and Clausen at the STEMS conference in Scottsdale. The Clausen annual color run will be May 20th. 5th grade versus the teachers annual kickball game will be on May 20th. Pre-kinder promotion ceremonies will be on May 23rd, and kinder and 5th grade promotion ceremonies will be on May 24th. At Stevenson, the Jump Rope for Heart has raised $2,476 so far. Students that have raised more than $200 will get to Silly String Mr. Duron. The top students will receive a $25 gift card from Amazon provided by the American Heart Association. At Joe Carlson, we would like to thank our school's PTSO for all their hard work in making our spring festival a success last week. It was very rewarding to see our families having fun together at school once again. The end of the year assessments are underway for grades K through 5. Teacher Appreciation Week is May 2nd through the 6th. We are having a Scholastic Buy One, Get One Free book fair from May 9th to the 13th with Family Night on May 13th. 5th graders will go to middle school orientations on May 11th for our Huber students and on May 16th for our Rayburn students. Our Court of 4 parent meeting for our EL students will be on May 16th. The May Spirit Week will be on May 16th through the 20th. Our school's color run will be on Friday, May 20th. Our preschool and kindergarten completion ceremonies will be on May 23rd. Quarter 4 assemblies for grades 1 through 4 will be on May 24th. 5th grade completion ceremony will be on May 24th, and Splash Day will be on May 25th. At Sarah Marley, our third quarter awards assembly is on Tuesday, May 3rd. Congratulations to our Diamond Scholars. 5th grade visit to Hubert on Wednesday, May 11th, and 5th grade visit to Ray Borain on Monday, May 16th. At Ferris, we had our Splash Day with the Purtleville Fire Department last Friday to celebrate El Día del Niño. Teacher and staff appreciation was the week of May 2nd through the 6th. We will have our top 3 fundraisers for the American Heart Association fundraiser be part of the Ferris administrative team on May 11th. Principal for a day, Ruby de la Vega, administrative assistant for the day, Luisiana Gagiola, and parent liaison of the day, Erin Romero. Class picnics are on May 13th, award assembly K through 2 and 3 to 5, May 23rd, DHS senior walk, May 23rd, teachers versus 5th grade kickball game, May 23rd, kindergarten and 5th grade promotion, May 24th, and AASA post rally, May 25th. Thank you.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any observations or comments? Okay, we'll move on. Senor Soto.
Good evening, Mr. Board President, board members. I have the report for the month of April. This budget amount represents the new budget that we're gonna, the revision that we're gonna adopt in a little bit. Any specific questions about that?
Board members?
No. Also, I need to report on the, I have the travel report. Excuse me. Again, this is the activity for the month of April. Any questions? As you can see, there was a lot of field trips that were taken in the month of April. Any specific questions?
Members of the
out
board?
of that report?
Okay, go ahead.
And well, that's it on those reports I have. The next point is the construction update. And Marco's going to help me out a little bit, showing pictures on your monitors.
And we also have Alan from Sketch on the phone.
Yes.
That he can also chime in on any progress being made.
Yeah. Are you guys able to see those?
On your computers?
On your monitor.
And the monitor.
Yeah, I got it, yeah.
Okay. Well, this is. What?
This is all we have. This is how it all started.
Yeah, this is the beginning. Can you skip to the next one, Marco? Marco took all these pictures with the drone. As you can see, they're starting to pour the concrete in there. More concrete. You can see part of the metal beams in there already. And this is what's going to be the cafeteria, with the one with all the metal beams in there. And that's classrooms, right, Marco? Yes. Special services, that's another view from the cafeteria, the future cafeteria. This area right here where you see nothing in there, there's going to be like a roundabout where it's especially designed for emergency vehicles like firefighters or stuff like that, in case that there's an emergency, that there's gonna be an access where they can just go around and exit. That's another angle. View from the Hawk Shop or the parking lot. A video? Okay. This is as of Friday, Marco? Or when was this?
Yes,
Friday.
If you observe where there's one of the construction workers walking in there, you can see he looks very, very small. Because when you're underneath that framing, the ceilings are high.
When were these pictures taken?
Friday.
Friday? Mark was really good with that drone.
I was going to say he didn't crash.
He needed music. The background.
He might have missed, they want him on the set of Rust, that movie they're making in New Mexico.
Oh.
And that's where the practice field is going to be, where all the metal is in there, laying.
And the parking is going to be where the
Next to the
trailer
gym.
is, next to the gym.
Next to the gymnasium, correct.
I think Douglas High School will need a couple one drone to kind of find children.
Given to security.
Yes.
Golf carts.
Ellen, are you looking at the board meeting at home?
I am, and I'm totally blown away. I think we need Marco to come and take all our movies as of now.
No, you can't take them.
Nope.
Ellen, do you want to tell us, like next steps? We meet with the team
Sure.
every Thursday, and what should we potentially be seeing in the next weeks, month?
Sure, I'll be happy to try and give you an overview. I would like to, if I may, good evening all, is just to mention that we did receive a request for a cost increase from the contractors, and after conferring with the school district legal counsel, they concurred that we don't believe that the escalation is justified on the grounds that they've claimed over there. But I think it's a good time just to bring up, and we're in a very good position. It doesn't happen very often, but we have approximately $2 million in reserve. We came in $1.6 million below the price that was permitted by the SFB, and we'd set aside another $400,000. So we have a total of about $2 million in reserves. Obviously, we want to spend this money expeditiously and wisely, but with the unprecedented times and with the possibility that there might be one or two legitimate cost increases, the very good news is that we do have a good surplus and a good reserve, and if we have to apply a percentage of that, we don't have to go looking for any money over there. We've got enough money in reserve. I think that's probably a great situation for the district to be in. As far as progress is concerned, we're looking at this stage in time for the cafeteria building to be completed for beneficial occupation by the start of the new school year, with the remaining 3 buildings to follow shortly thereafter. We are grinding away, working with the contractors to get final dates as far as those 3 buildings are concerned, but they should be following up shortly thereafter. The fields should be ready for the fall, so we should have ready by the fall the cafeteria area as well as all the fields, with the other 3 buildings in tow, not following that far behind. So hopefully we're looking forward to some real good progress over the next couple of months. I think so far so good. We really and truly feel pretty blessed that it hasn't hit us as hard as it could have with all of these crazy situations, with the price escalations and with what's going on with COVID. We think the contract is moving in the right direction, and as I say, we're pretty happy about that. I don't know if there's any questions at this stage. I'd be more than happy to try and field them.
Board members, do you have any questions?
No.
Go ahead.
No, Ellen, the board doesn't have any questions. We were concerned when we had the conversation about the escalation of prices and the contractors kind of saying we're going to, raise our contract price or the price of material, but they met with our attorney and it seems to be all good. So we're happy with that. And Alma will reach out to you probably next week, board members, and we want to do a tour at the high school and see if you're available. You don't have to come, but she'll try to coordinate, and then we'll meet at the high school, and you will have an opportunity to be underneath all those beams and see. It's a gigantic project, and it's going to make the campus a lot larger with a lot more needs. So,
Ellen's still on the line, or maybe Caesar can answer. How are they going to key that whole new construction? How is it going to be keyed?
It's gonna continue using the same system that we already have at this point. Then with the future, probably looking into at least the outside doors is going to be automated, where you're going to have a card, like a card reader. The classrooms inside, they're going to be cord, like a regular door, but to have access to those buildings, to the main building, I'm going to call it, you're going to have a card to access. It's a little bit more expensive that way, but you have a lot more control, where you can control and just give access to certain times and hours of the day. And that's something that Mark already talked to the architect about. That's something that is in the budget to do those outside doors with that system. But the classrooms are going to have the same as the whole high school.
Yeah, if I can just maybe add to that, if I may, the corridors that link the 4 new buildings together, they're all secured with a metal fence, and there will be 4 security gates, as I said, that'll have security card access.
Okay, members of the board?
No, fine. It's great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, moving to the next item would be human resources. I guess you're going to do that, Mrs. Samaniego?
Yes, and Mrs. Cox is ill today, so I didn't want her here. I told her stay home. Let me get to my agenda item. Do you have it there, Cesar?
What?
The enrollment report. It's not, oh, there we go. No, I passed it. It was just here and now it went left. No. Show me yours before. All right, so our enrollment currently right now is at 3,828 students compared to last year, 3,709 students. And so we have increased, and that is one of the reasons why We are doing a budget revision because there is a little bit of an increased enrollment. As far as our personnel and vacancies, we've mentioned that many of our Filipino teachers are going to be leaving because they're at their 5-year mark, and so that obviously has created some vacancies in, the math secondary level, which many of them are placed in. So Douglas High School has some vacancies that they're working on, RBMS, a few at the elementary, but it's mostly the secondary level that we are concentrating on and trying to actively recruit on our AD website, on our AZALAS websites, and any type of organizations that I'm part of. I'm recruiting with my colleagues. And so that's where the enrollment report is right now.
Okay. We have Mr. Philip Brenfleck wants to address the board regarding insurance.
Mr. Board President, board members, Ms. Samaniego, Mr. Soto, my name is Philip Brenfleck. I reside at 7887 East Jewel Street in Tucson, Arizona. And for the past 13 years, I've been your AFLAC representative. AFLAC is a supplemental insurance benefit that employees select and pay for payroll deduction. In the past couple of weeks, I've received a number of calls from employees asking me questions about AFLAC for the 2023 school year, and I've addressed those, but I thought it might be appropriate to come to the board and make a formal presentation so that the district and the public and all of the employees understand what's going on. As you probably know from your April meeting, which I listened to online, the district went out to bid this year. They put an RFP out through their insurance agency, Gallagher, in Phoenix. And AFLAC has an individual in Phoenix assigned to Gallagher to handle paperwork and RFPs and that sort of thing. Without consulting me, he did that, and he sent it off to our group division. And as you probably know, RFPs have a deadline. They have got to be there by date or it can't be considered. Those are Arizona purchasing rules, procurement rules. And unfortunately, they did not get the RFP to Douglas by that deadline. It came in a week later. So we couldn't be considered as a vendor for the supplemental employee benefits. The questions those people have asked me is what's going to happen. And there are a number of options that are out there. One of them is the district can continue to payroll deduct for those people that have the products that they already have enrolled in and continue to receive the tax benefit that the district receives for payroll deduction, and allowing the employees to continue to get their payroll deduction benefit, because pre-tax benefits save the employee about 25%, and it saves the district about 6.8 to 7.5% on their income, not income tax, on their contributions for Social Security and Medicare. The other option is to stop payroll deduction, and if you stop payroll deduction, then the employees have the option of continuing their AFLAC on a direct basis. If you stop payroll deduction, AFLAC will automatically generate a letter to each employee to their address of record, giving them their options on how to continue by a direct payment to AFLAC. The premiums do not change, they stay exactly the same. And since all of our policies have a continuation of coverage benefit, what that means in plain non-insurance language English is they have 60 days free coverage after the district stops deduction. It also applies if an employee leaves during the school year. They have a 60-day grace period before they have to make any premium payment. And that pretty much sums up what I'm telling the employees that contact me.
What are you telling the board? I'm a little confused as to what you want from the board.
Well, I'm not really asking the board for anything. I just wanted to address it so the board understood what went on, because I listened to your April meeting and there wasn't a real concise discussion of why AFLAC's not going to be here anymore, or at least for this year. And so I wanted to bring that out, but also I know a lot of your employees stream the board meetings online and they have access to that, so they can refer to that to get that information. I would probably as an example, give the board, 3 years ago, the city of Douglas did something very similar. They went with a group benefit plan because they were offered a free enrollment system if they did that. However, they continued to payroll deduct for those employees who wanted to keep AFLAC. What happened in that case, and I'm not saying that's the company that you're dealing with, but in that case, the employees couldn't get claims filed because they had no local representation. They couldn't get calls returned. And the finance department had tore their hair out because there were constant billing issues that they couldn't get resolved. At the end of 1 year, they scrapped that program and went back to offering AFLAC on an individual basis. There is a difference between the policies because AFLAC policies are individual policies and group benefits are different. In fact, that the district holds a certificate for the policy, and if the district stops covering it, or the school or the city, then those policies for people who've retired, who have left, are no longer valid. That pretty much sums up what I wanted to point forward. I think it'd be a real important benefit to the employees to be able to keep that through payroll deduction. Historically, what we see in other companies that either go out of business or stop payroll deduction is about 85 to 90% of the employees don't continue because they don't respond to the letter and because it's a lot more work than just having it taken out of your check. And they also realize they don't get the tax benefit any longer. So just keep that in mind, and we'll go forward with any of the employees who are continuing with AFLAC in whichever manner, and we will be available. I say we, my coworker Gilbert Velasco, who also works with the city, and I do too, will be in Douglas, and we'll still be taking care of those employees' claims issues.
Are you saying that AFLAC missed the RFP, and
Yes.
that as a result, you have people that are participating members with AFLAC that are still with you, and are you talking about an ongoing payroll deduction? Is that what your concern is?
Yes, that's exactly
All right.
correct.
Well, have you talked to the administration?
On occasion, yes, we've discussed it.
Well, what's the administration's reaction? I mean, coming to the board for something that's administrative, at this point, to me, is a moot, because you need to talk to them and find out, have they turned you down? Have they said by policy or statute?
I haven't received an official word one way or the other. I've heard from some employees that they plan not to payroll deduct, but I don't have anything.
Well, let's go phase, the proper phase procedure. If you want to react to what he said, I mean, I don't know, seriously, I don't know what the purpose is to the board here, other than you're informing us that you were unsuccessful because you didn't meet the deadline on the RFP, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But there were also, built into those RFPs, there's certain clauses in there that allow you to appeal and to even come in late according to policy. I don't know why you didn't do that. That's number one, from the best of my understanding. And number two is, if you're talking about a payroll deduction, which is totally administrative, part of the business office protocol, then that's who you should talk to. Had they turned you down and said, no, we're not going to do it anymore, then I think it would have been proper to come to the board and then just appeal to the board and then make your presentation. So what I'd like to do now is hear from the administration and to know why he came directly to the board, and if he hasn't officially dealt with you or not.
Well, Phil obviously does come here often, and when he was informed that AFLAC didn't submit an RFP in a timely manner, and Gallagher controls all of that and guides us in that, and so we had to vote, we had to move along, and we came to the board and presented. So I haven't officially met with Phil with a request to continue one way or another or have these options for our employees, but we just learned that he was coming to the board as a call to the public. So I wasn't too sure what was the purpose or what he was going to inform, other than probably saying, this is what happened, and this is what could potentially happen for these employees. And under our RFP, the committee, along with Gallagher's support, we selected Hartford in voluntary insurance. And so with the option of continuing a payroll deduction for 2 different companies, that, as I'm working on, would not be possible. So I will be contacting and meeting with Phil and just giving him and our employees some information probably this week.
How many people do you represent?
There are about 145 employees that have Aflac.
In the district, 140?
Yeah, in your district.
And they're there as a result of opting to go with you instead of going with?
No, so these are.
Supplemental?
Hartford will not begin until July. So this is for the next school year. So anybody that has a voluntary plan with Aflac has it for this school year. And so because we went through an RFP and have selected Hartford, if our employees don't switch over or don't add to their plans, the rollover will just continue with the new company through our payroll deduction. So they will no longer have Aflac unless the employee wants to stay with Aflac, but more so on their own terms and paying directly to Aflac, not through our payroll system.
I think by policy, if I'm not mistaken, the district can only go one deduction for whoever the successful bidder is. But they'll have to check that, but
Yes,
I'm pretty
and-
sure, but by policy, that's the way the protocol is that the successful bidder is the one that permits the employees to have access to the payroll deduction. That's the way I see it now, but that's administrative, and we'll let them work through that with
thank
you,
you.
if that's all right. Unless board members have any questions, or just quick comments, because
Yeah,
we
well,
can't
not
get in.
just a question. Is the Hartford giving the same type of coverage that Aflac has?
I don't have the packet in front of me, but they have, very equal services and ultimately better pricing for our employees. And so that was one of the reasons that we selected Hartford. And, we've worked and have a good working relationship with Aflac and our 2 gentlemen that take care of our employees. And so it was unfortunate that they didn't, submit on time. But if our employees wish to continue with them, I am following up and will be sending some information to Phil and our employees.
And our employees, were they advised of what happened, informed?
What happens is, right now is the open enrollment period, so it started on Monday, so this is the time where all that information is being shared. And so last month, we approved the, whatever went out to bid in the package. That was the only one change, because our health insurance stayed the same. There was only a higher board contribution, dental, Minnesota Life. So the only bid was the voluntary. So this is the open enrollment time. Employees are going to be either moving to or adding on to their voluntary life or not doing anything at all. And so this is the time where all that information happens.
But you're giving them written information for them
Yes.
to choose themselves.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, and actually, this is called to the public, and what we're allowing is under the exception to respond because of the urgency and the need to have some explanation. That's for the record. That's the reason we're allowing a little discussion on this, all right? Dr. Gomez, do you have anything else?
I'm fine.
Mr. Soto, you want to add anything?
No, we're just gonna look into that. Yeah.
All right, well, we appreciate you
Thank
being
you,
here
Phil.
and addressing the board.
Thank you.
However, I think you need to exhaust all your alternatives and options with them first, and then if there's something that you think is adverse to whatever your company feels or whatever, because of it, then come to the board, and then we'll go generally by what their recommendation is, okay?
I appreciate that. And
All right.
I would like to add one footnote, Bill.
Go ahead.
Your payroll department and your benefits department are the best in the state.
Yeah, that'll help you tremendously.
You're-
That's gonna help you out.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I've worked with school districts from Window Rock to Yuma and from Kingman to Douglas and all over Phoenix, and none of the payroll departments are as efficient and helpful as yours. And some of the benefits departments are pretty nice, but they don't just take care of the employees the way your departments do. And I wanted to get that to the board because that's an accolade for your employees. You have a lot of really good employees.
Thank you, and to
Thank
be
you.
honest with you, they are annually recognized for that.
Good,
So
thank
we,
you.
but we appreciate you saying that, though.
Just an outside comment. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil.
And by the way, also, the fact that it's a benefit and something that eases whatever we can for the employees, we'll work with you on that, and I'm sure
Yes,
they
and
will
we've,
too.
we're very appreciative of your company and the partnership that DUSD has had for the 13 years. And so anything that, it is a voluntary, so I want to make sure everybody understands it. Our employees don't have to if they don't want to purchase because it's extra money. And so because it's voluntary, Aflac has been like an independent insurance that we've had. Now with the RFP, they're under that Gallagher umbrella, and Gallagher is like that middleman to assure our employees and assist them with any claims and all of that. But I am very thankful for the partnerships, and I know that maybe some employees, because of the relationship they have, they will stay with Aflac.
Yeah, that's important, and thank you again, and thank you for coming down. All right, we'll move on to item 2, consent agenda items. A, approval of the following consent agenda items, payroll and expense voucher reports, 1 through 3. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
By Mr. Ramos.
Second.
Second by Dr. Gomez. Discussion. Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bering?
Yes. Item 3A, discussion action on the approval of the final revised district annual expenditure budget for fiscal year 2021, 2022. Mr. Soto.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, it's time of the year where we do our final revision to the budget for this school year. And like Mrs. Samaniego was saying earlier, the main reason we do the revision is when there's fluctuation in enrollment, more or less. But I'm glad to say that we gained almost 10 kids. It's not much, but again, it gives me a good basis to start forecasting for next year. So again, it's just an adjustment in enrollment, a bit of more income for the district. And I don't know if you have a specific question out of the report.
Members of the board, any questions regarding that? Have a motion to approve, Mr. Ramos?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Gomez. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bering?
Yes. Item B, discussion action on the approval of certified hires for school year 2022, 2023. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, we have teachers, and mainly teachers, and for next school year, with the exception of a couple emergency subs. So we've been working hard, and our principals have been interviewing and getting in all of the documentation into HR, so as presented.
Will you
Can I
make
add
a
it?
motion to approve?
Mr. President, just clarification. These salaries are with the current salary schedule. We haven't proposed a new salary schedule for next year, so these figures may change once we adopt a new salary schedule. Just as a FYI.
Mr. Ramos, will you move to approve?
Yes, I move to approve the certified hires for the school year 2022, 2023 as presented.
Thank you. The second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Gomez. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bering?
Yes. Item D. No, I'm sorry.
C.
C, discussion action on the approval of classified hires. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, we have two that are going to be for this year, and that's an administrative assistant for our curriculum and federal programs. That's been a vacant position since Edith moved over to payroll, and Armando Arevalo taking one of the vacancies that I believe Augie left as campus security or one of the other security. And so then including in that list are our food, summer food hires being funded out of our food service.
Okay. And you said that Arevalo was hired in place for Augie?
Augie or Denise, yeah, it's replacing Denise's, who left over.
Well, I'm surprised one person, because Augie always tells me he does the job of two people, so that's a great benefit to Augie. No, I'm just kidding. I know he's good-natured. I wouldn't say that, but he does. All right, entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
By Mr. Ramos. Is there a second?
Second.
By Dr. Gomez. Any discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bereen?
Yes.
Mr. Bereen, I
Yes.
believe we do have some of our new hires here, and we haven't introduced anybody in over 2 years. So, Armando, if you want to come up and just introduce yourself, and we welcome you to DUSD.
Hello, my name is Armando Arevalo, and I'm happy to be working here.
You'll be at
I
Douglas
look
High
forward
School.
to it. Yes, I look forward to it.
All right.
Good,
Thank
great.
you. Welcome.
We're glad to have you. Thank you,
Welcome.
Armando.
Thank you.
And Jocelyn Scamilla, not here? All right.
Is that it?
Yes.
All right, and then, so we go to D, discussion action on the approval of certified summer school and 21st century community learning centers. And of course, it has the rate and the funding source, both funding sources. Ms. Samaniego.
Yes, and so this is obviously the list of people that have applied for our summer school program. It's funded out of ESSER 3. And so right now, we're building our summer school program, not knowing how many students will actually attend summer school depends on actual teachers that will actually begin summer school. And so these are all current employees.
Mr. Ramos, will you make a motion to?
So
approve?
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Dr. Gomez. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bereen?
Yes. Item
E? We're on E.
E. Discussion action on the approval of classified summer school and 21st century community learning centers hires, and the funding source there is the 21st century and ESSR.
Yes, so as presented, so these are all of our classified staff that will be
Right.
working in summer school.
Okay, Mr. Ramos, will you make that motion, please?
Yes.
And a motion by Mr. Ramos, second by Dr. Gomez. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bereen?
Yes, item F. Discussion action on the approval of certified retirements. Ms. Samaniego.
And what we're presenting this to you because Ms. Klein has rescinded the initial retirement date of 12/30/22. So she's requesting to revise her retirement for an effective date of May 25, 2023 school year. And that needs board approval.
Mr. Ramos, will you make that motion to approve?
So moved.
Dr. Gomez?
Second.
Second.
So she's just staying another year?
Yes.
The
mhm.
full year.
Okay.
The full year. Mhm.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bereen?
Yes, item G. Discussion action on the approval of classified resignations. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, and want to say that Christy Rios, who's the DHS attendance clerk, has been there for 7+ years. And, you know, I used to be a cafeteria worker at Douglas Junior High with her mom when I was a student there myself. And so I've known Christy for many years. And Alberto Vasquez, a campus security officer, and a food service employee, Mark Kudabak. So,
Entertain a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. By Dr. Gomez. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bereen?
Yes, item H. Discussion action on the approval of request to rescind certified retirement. Ms. Samaniego.
okay, and this is Maria Sexton, who had submitted her letter of retirement, but she is rescinding with no new date in mind.
Entertain a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Mr. Ramos.
Second.
Second by Dr. Gomez. Further discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bereen?
Yes, item I. Discussion action on the approval of classified transfers. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, you have 3 employees and food service to campus monitor, Jennifer Vaquera, taking the temporary position of the administrative assistant in CFPD department under ESSER 3 funded, and Michelle Chavez moving from data entry clerk to the student records clerk position in New Student Center.
Entertain a motion, Mr. Ramos.
So moved.
Second
Second?
by Dr. Gomez. Roll call.
Dr. Gomez? Dr. Gomez?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes, item J, discussion action on the approval of increase in hours. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, and increasing from a 5-hour IA to a 6-hour position, which was vacant, currently vacant.
Motion to approve, Mr. Ramos.
So moved.
Second?
By Dr. Gomez. Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes?
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes. Item K, discussion action on the approval of athletic hire, Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, Laura Franco for the cross-country assistant coach position. And this is for next year.
Okay, Mr. Ramos, will you make that motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
By Dr. Gomez. Any discussion? Did you have background information for her?
No, well, HR did, so they reviewed all that, and we just put, but we don't present that background information to you for the hire. I know Melissa was part of the recommendation for Laura Franco.
Okay, on any coach's hire, I think the board would be interested in just seeing what their background is,
Okay.
Things like that. I mean, just for our own edification. Have a motion on the floor?
Yes, sir.
Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes?
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes. Item L, discussion action on the approval of athletic resignation, Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, this is Camila Altry. She's resigning effective immediately from the girls' basketball assistant coach position, and she is rehireable.
Mr. Ramos, will you make that motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes? I mean,
That's fine.
I second.
Second by Dr. Gomez. Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes?
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes. Item M, discussion action on the approval of volunteers, Ms. Samaniego.
You have 2 volunteers that will be assisting and volunteering with our DHS band.
Any, Mr. Ramos, will you make that motion to approve?
So moved.
Second
I second.
by Dr. Gomez. Any discussion?
I think
Go ahead, Dr. Gomez.
talking about what you had said about little background, it would have been just to see what motivated them to be a volunteer, they have experience or whatever.
It's right there in your background.
It is there.
Uh-huh.
It is?
Yeah, on that one, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and the purpose of the other one is just quite frankly, is when people approach a board member or somebody and say, I understand you hired Melissa Rodriguez as a high school, the new basketball coach, I can say, oh, don't you know her background? She was a tremendous basketball player at Coach East College, and, I could go on and on. But that's, no, seriously, that's the purpose,
I
though.
think you're being recruited.
That's the purpose, though, so that we do have that background, so that we do know. So if people ask us, say, yeah, they've got a good background, we saw it. All right, so item N, discussion, information.
Take a vote.
Oh, we need to vote.
yes.
I'm sorry, roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes?
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes. Item N, discussion, information only for certified and classified internal transfers. You've already alluded to one of them, Ms. Samaniego, go ahead.
Yes, and this is just for information purposes only. Maria Sexton from as an ESS teacher at Douglas High School over to Clausen vacancy, and Yvette Arias just moving positions in New Student Center.
Thank you. Item O, discussion action on the approval of donations received for Douglas Unified School District number 27. Ms. Samaniego.
Okay, as presented, we have preschool toys from Miss Lori Hyman with Green Toys to Sarah Marley Preschool, value of $300. Donation of various trees and plants from Freeport McMorran to Clausen Elementary, estimated value of $260. And several donors choose to the following schools for classroom projects.
Who's representative of donors choose? Are they local?
No, do you want to?
It's
Like
online organization. Teachers go online
And
to that
submit.
website specifically, and then they get chosen, let's just say, and for whatever they're requesting, and they have different people donating to
But
them.
it's got to be initiated by the teacher?
Yes.
And it's being presented as a donation because it goes to the classroom.
Right, not
at
to
that
the
school,
teacher.
Not to the, it's not money for the teacher per se.
Is that statewide or is that national?
It's
Yes.
national.
Okay. All right, entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve the item 3O as presented.
Second?
Second by Dr. Gomez. Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes?
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes, item P, discussion action on rescinding the issuance of fiscal year 2022-23 employment contract to Mr. Albert Young, CTED Director / DHS High School Principal, Assistant Principal, and to include voiding the benefits that had previously been approved because of the directorship. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve that
So moved.
by Mr. Ramos.
Second?
By Dr. Gomez. Any discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes?
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes, item Q, discussion action on the approval of fiscal year 2022-23 employment contract for assistant principal. Who is, what?
So last month, we approved, or the board approved all of our principals and assistant principals with the 3% raise. And so under the list that included all principals and assistants, Ms. Sydney Fiamberes was accidentally left off, but in the background information with the salaries and information on your template provided by Mr. Soto, she was listed on there. So we're just bringing that to you, as our attorney said, just rename her on this agenda.
So
So it's a correction.
You want approval for that?
Or
Yes.
just information.
Okay,
Yes, no, approval, because she was left out, accidentally left out of the list, just to make it clear
I move
that she
to-
was approved by the board.
I move to approve item 3Q as presented.
Q.
second
You say second?
by Dr. Gomez. Any discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes?
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes, item R, discussion action on the approval of classified staff rehires for fiscal year 2022-2023, Ms. Almaguer.
And this is just a formal presentation of all of our classified who will be getting a wage notice contract after you approve.
So moved.
By Mr. Ramos.
Second?
Second by Dr. Gomez. Discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes?
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes. Item S, discussion action on the approval to renew the dual enrollment intergovernmental agreement between Cochise College and District Douglas Unified School Number 27 for the 2022-23 school years. Ms. Almaguer.
Yes. This is the IGA that we currently have in place with Cochise College, which allows students to take a class with a high-level Cochise College class for credit, at the same time get credit for DHS, so it's called the dual enrollment. The IGA, the reason we're bringing it to you is because we have an opportunity to add a few more classes, which will allow our students to have dual enrollment credit in other areas. And so at this time, I'll have Melissa, do you want to talk a little bit about the courses before we approve it?
Well, she's coming up there. Who
Yes.
pays for that? Who pays for the tuition?
The recommendation that is being added in this IGA will be by the district. And we'll talk a little bit about the funding.
Go ahead, Melissa.
So, good evening, Board President, Mr. Bahrain, members of the board, Superintendent Samaniego. So, we're very excited about this partnership. We've had a partnership with Cochise College throughout many years, and we are very excited to provide students an additional opportunity for dual enrollment in the areas of English and math. So we are very excited to provide that. Most of the dual enrollment we have is through our CTE program, so now we're able to include some of our core areas and really give the kids a jump start for their college experience starting here at Douglas High School. So just to let you know, we will be utilizing our own teachers at Douglas High School that have been approved by Cochise College to be not only high school teachers, but in return, college professors as well. So we are targeting about 60 students to partake in this opportunity. And so along with the dual enrollment, I'm not going to get into the logistics regarding the payment, but one thing that is to our benefit, because we do utilize our own instructors, is that our students will only be charged $20 per credit hour versus the close to $400 to $500 per class. So we're going to be offering classes for about $60, $80, up to $100 versus paying the $400, $500 that they would have to pay on their own. So there will be a student fee that the students will have to pay, as well as the rest of the fee will be provided by our district, since we are utilizing our own staff.
And so the rest of the fee that she just mentioned provided by the district, that's going to be all encompassing in this motion that we're going to?
Yes, by approving the new IGA, which stipulates all that language, already reviewed by our attorney and Cochise College, then you're approving us moving forward.
What time of the day do they teach those classes, Melissa?
So no, this will be part of the regular schedule.
And
So
are the teachers going to get paid extra?
no, so this is in conjunction to the regular bell schedule. So for example, teachers have a 7-period schedule. They teach 6 classes out of those 7 periods. It'll just be in place of one of the classes. So for example, we're offering English 101, English 102. That will be a dual enrollment class in conjunction with our senior English class that we currently offer. So it won't be before school or after school. It will be part of the regular schedule.
Dr. Gomez, did you have a question?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes, my question is, back when horse and buggy were being drawn here and I graduated, I had a chance, but I had to go to Cochise College to get that extra, not extra credit, just to get a credit, and whatever field we wanted. And the main thing, we had to have enough credits already to graduate. These students that are getting those credits through the college already have the ample amount of credits to graduate their senior year. In other words, what I'm saying, I had enough credits already to graduate, saying that I passed all my classes here in high school. These are kids that are trying to make credits to graduate, right?
So actually, this is open to any students. This is not just dual enrollment, but it's dual credit. So they're earning high school credit as well as college credit.
And they're going to be taking the classes here.
Yes, so if, for example, the English class, they'll be getting college credit for the English class as well as fulfilling the English credit required by our graduation standards at Douglas High School.
Dr. Gomez?
Yeah, well, okay, so they get credit for Cochise College. Now, if the student takes the English 101 and 102, is that accepted by U of A?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So the classes that we're offering are all classes that are accepted by all of the Arizona universities.
Good. Okay.
So really, this is an opportunity, expanding the opportunity for our students. Many of our Cochise County high schools, I believe Tombstone, Buena High School, I'm not sure if Bisbee, has already for numerous years offered this opportunity to their students, and so we were kind of lagging behind, and I think this is a great opportunity.
Yeah, great.
So just a clarification, we're going to be charging the students $25 per class. So in reality, if a student wanted to take the math and the English, they'll have that opportunity to earn the dual credit for both classes.
And it'll cost them $25 for each class?
For each class.
Okay, good.
Okay, and the students will be responsible for their own books. That will not be a cost to the district.
Very good. That's a good opportunity. That's very good.
Yeah, Mr. President, I just want to add, it's good to see that because you're giving a student the opportunity not only to learn at a higher level from Cochise College, but when they do go to college, they don't have to take those classes anymore.
Yeah, they have a-
that advantage. Very, very good. I'm really glad. It helped me quite a bit.
Did you have anything else, Melissa?
No, that's it.
Have you been involved with the construction I know you're working through the logistics of what classrooms are going to be where and who's going to be assigned and all that. Is that challenging to you right now to doing all of that?
She has no knowledge of what's going on.
No, no. We're more focused on the construction at this point. Once the construction is completed, I mean, we know which departments are going to be moved out there. And we're actually really excited. I took my department chairs and my admin team out there 2 weeks ago, so Beth gave us a nice tour, and it's amazing. I know Mrs. Samaniego was talking about how enormous and huge these buildings are. The pictures and the videos don't do it justice. I highly recommend that you guys take a tour out there. You'll be amazed by the magnitude of this project, and I look forward to opening doors hopefully very soon.
Very good.
You're going to have the gator out there for me so I
No,
can
they're
get on?
gonna be buying some motorized scooters now.
Yes.
I saw a PO for that.
Yeah, you'll see that on the for board approval coming soon.
They need to get their
Thanks,
steps
Melissa.
in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
So we need a
we
So
need,
then
we
there's
need
a
a motion
motion
to
to-
approve.
So moved.
Second?
By Dr. Gomez, roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bereen?
Yes. Item T, discussion action on the approval of 6 teachers to participate in the Principals Leadership Academy of Arizona, Ms. Samaniego.
Okay. I'm bringing this forward. I received some information from PLAA in coordination with ASU, and they are putting together an aspiring Principal Leadership Academy. And so obviously they sent it out, anybody can apply. And so when I saw that, I had a meeting with any potential interested teacher and gave them the information, and I asked them that to submit a letter of interest to me, because I think this is a good opportunity for our board to invest in these 6 teachers who are interested in hopefully one day becoming a leader, whether it be an assistant principal or principal or a department chair or take any leadership role. This program will encompass about a year long of Saturday academies, both virtually and in person. The tuition per participant is $1,000, but since we are hoping to register more than one candidate, they will be giving us a reduced rate, so $500 per candidate, which includes all the text and materials. So my recommendation is that the district pay for the tuition for all of our participants. I think we need to start doing more where we're growing our own. We've done a great job through our U of A Teachers Pathways to grow our own teachers, but we're not doing very much to grow our own administrators. And every time a principal takes a higher level position, there's a vacancy. And right now, with the shortage of teachers, there is a shortage of administrators. And so this is my recommendation. Obviously, once board approved, I will meet with these 6 teachers and go over the commitment, because once we invest in them, they obviously, as the background information, they have to participate and fulfill the requirements of the academy. The only investment for the district is the tuition. Will be the responsibility of the teacher to get to these academies on these Saturdays are in person, but a lot of them are virtually.
My question, these teachers, you selected them personally with your staff, or did they apply for this?
What I did is I had them submit a letter of interest to me, explaining to me why they would want to participate in this academy. And so we had 6 teachers. These were the 6 teachers out of the maybe 25, 30 that attended my initial meeting. And I read their letters. I liked what they had to say. And, you know, we've worked with these teachers in numerous committees. And so I think there's future there for future principals.
Dr. Gomez, you have any comments?
No, I'm fine.
To what extent will this take them, how far will it take them towards certification?
It's very clear in the academy that this will allow them to get 80, I believe it's 80 or 81 continuing education hours towards at University of Phoenix. And so while this doesn't give them, it's not a master's program or it's not a certificate program for a leadership position, it does give them those 81 hours. So it's not just professional development that ASU or the state is putting on, and we are getting professional development hours towards recertification. They will be working with the individuals in the program, and everything that they do will be credited towards 81 credit hours. It's not a certificate. It's not a master's, like I said. So if any of them, a lot of them that submitted a letter said, I'm thinking about it, so this would give me an opportunity to be very involved because they will learn budget. They will be working with A-plus school principals. They will be learning the role of a principal, and maybe some of them need this little professional development along with gaining 81 credit hours to make that commitment and do a master's in educational leadership or a certificate program.
They've got to really have a deep commitment to finish, because that's just a start.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that the investment, and that's for the district, it's nothing but a plus. But you know, the thing that always comes back to me is principals and supervisors, director, depending on what the job description says, all have to have certification to take the job. They have to have it, or they can't have the job. You have to be a supervisor. You have to spend thousands of dollars if you can't even get to that level of being a supervisor, and then to go on and be a principal. It's much more money, very expensive. However, not to minimize them, but to be a superintendent or to have a superintendent certificate is not needed anymore in the state of Arizona. You don't, Dr. Gomez, if you lobbied this board hard enough,
I could be the
you could
superintendent.
be the superintendent, because this board could say, we feel you're qualified to handle all the duties and responsibilities that go along with being in a school district. So actually, no certification is required. All you do is exercise that statute, right? And we could make you the assistant superintendent just because we like you, and Dr. Gomez says, I like to have Mr. Ramos. The point I'm trying to make is, and I'm not minimizing them, not at all, that the principals and the supervisors spend a lot of money getting certified, a lot of money. And there's a disparity between their expense and their certification to a teacher. And that's one thing that, you know, and I'm not lobbying, I'm just making a statement that, again, we really need to look at the principals and the supervisors' salaries. You know, it's not worth it. I could name somebody I know in the past that spent almost $30,000 and busted their tail to do it, and driving back and forth and taking classes online just to get a basic certificate. So it doesn't seem fair, and of course you can blame the legislature for that too, because they're the ones that passed the law that said, superintendents, you don't need anything, nothing. Principals, State Board of Education, you make sure you enforce that. You don't put anybody in a supervisory position or a principal's position without a supervisor's certificate. So that to me is, and for these 6 people, like I said, it's a modicum of expense to the district to pay that, but they've got a long way to go. to be of any value to the district, to be honest with you. I'm not minimizing it, and I certainly didn't minimize you or the assistant superintendent.
I have an admin degree.
No.
Cost me a lot of money.
I
No,
wasn't, I was
yes.
just speaking in generalities in talking about that.
And definitely, like I said, if any of them are interested in the near future and have been taking classes, because many of them have been taking graduate level classes, that could go towards a master's in educational leadership, then this will give them a very good opportunity to really embrace this whole principalship and learn a lot and learn with all different kinds of colleagues.
Okay, we need a motion, right? Mr. Ramos?
So moved as presented.
Second?
By Dr. Gomez, any
Mr.
further
Burring?
discussion?
We need to include paying the tuition in the motion.
Well, it was part of the item, wasn't it?
The item just says to participate in the academy, but not including tuition, I guess. That's what I'm referring to.
Well, that's why I asked her, is that part of the question?
It's including to pay the tuition for the 6 candidates.
Okay, so we'll just say as a adjunct to this comment, just you can say that it was in not implicit, that it was understood that it was in the motion that the money would be paid, all right? Okay, we got that, you made the motion. Second, roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Burring?
Yes. Discussion, item U, discussion action on the submission of proposed issues for consideration of ASBA proposed 2023 political agenda and the appointment of an official delegate to represent DUSD number 27. And I think we need to appoint somebody else other than Mr. Lindeman, because he's unable to right now do anything. He just had surgery yesterday.
Yes.
And I think, in his
going to
best
meeting?
interest,
Are
do you want to do it,
go to
Dr.
state
Gomez or Mario, or
I think we should get
Jana?
Jetta, and because I'm also, still dragging, but I can be the alternate.
Is that all right with you, Dr. Gomez?
That's fine with me.
Okay, so will you make the motion that we recruit Jana?
Yes.
Everybody had a legitimate excuse why they didn't want to do it.
I move to name Ms. Janice Fairchild as the delegate and myself as the alternate.
Is there a second?
Second?
By Dr. Gomez, roll call.
And Mr. Burring, and if there's any additional priorities that the board would like to submit to legislative committee, we need to submit that soon after this meeting. So I don't know if the board has any specific matters that you want addressed.
What's the deadline of that?
I have to submit it as soon as the board approves.
Yeah, I think it's coming around this week, I think by Friday or so.
Because there is some issues there that,
Any further discussion from you? Anybody else? Any further discussion? We want to thank Ms. Salchow for volunteering.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Burring?
Yes, item V, discussion action on the approval of certified contract renewals for the 2022-23 school year.
As presented, these are 3 teacher contracts for next school year.
Entertain a motion to approve
so moved.
by Mr. Ramos.
Second?
Second by Dr. Gomez. Roll call.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Burring?
Yes.
And Mr. Brain, before we move on, I didn't know there was a young lady here that recently got approved as a hire. So if you want to come up and introduce your name, you thought you were getting away.
You better recognize her after sitting through all this.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Good afternoon.
Welcome
My
to
name
board
is Hilda
meeting.
Gracia. Thank you. And I'll be a security officer at the Douglas High School. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks for waiting through all of that. Yeah, sitting through a board meeting is, especially when you have to.
Okay, so
Tell
we're
me
at
about
request for future agenda items.
Yeah, and then we'll go to B, the announcements.
We have the 8th grade promotion ceremony on May 25th at Paul Huber at 8:30 a.m., RBMS at 10:30 a.m. Our last day of school and early release day for students is May 25th. And our graduation ceremony, resuming to an evening ceremony, I'm very happy about that, May 27th. And we will be closing offices on May 30th due to Memorial Day. And our next regular board meeting is on Monday, June 6th. Yes, we moved it because we're all traveling to the Leadership Institute. Or
Mrs. Samaniego, how many are going
to where?
to the leadership?
The one in Flagstaff? Yeah. It's just Alma, myself, and I believe, and you and myself.
Oh, I thought
don't think any of the
myself.
Mrs. Selcha couldn't go.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I need help getting up from the chair.
Yes. we will help you.
I have a question. And this is just something that I heard, and I just need the information. In the graduation ceremony for the high school, are you going to limit the student to 2 tickets?
I have not been informed of that. This is
No, sir. There will be no limitation.
No limit. Yeah, good.
Just no high heels, please.
Okay.
It's a new turf.
Entertain a motion to adjourn
So moved.
by Mr. Ramos.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.